Hello and welcome to day 28. Yes, we're still dealing with the crappy light because it's so gray outside, so forgive me for that. My name is Tammy, and this is day 28, like I said, 30 days of essential oils, or now 30 plus 1 days of essential oils, because I just discovered, or did so not too long ago, that I did one oil twice, tangerine in the last segment, that 31 days of essential oils, and I just did tangerine last week. So we're going to add an extra one to make sure you guys get a whole new set of oils. And with that said, today I want to talk to you about Spanish sage. Now, for those of you who are new to me, what you're getting here is backed by 30 plus years of working with essential oils. I am internationally certified as a master clinical aromatherapist. I do have a background in pharmacology. I also have a background in the epigenome and the way it's influenced by chemicals inside and outside of our body, including food. And so therefore, I focus primarily on the study of plant constituents and their impact on human health and drug development, because this is exactly how they're making our medications. Nearly 80% of our meds at this point are, in fact, designed to replicate the actions, the mechanisms of actions found in plant constituents, or found with plant constituents. And so that's a significant thing because, sorry, I'm just trying to, I guess the light is bugging me. Anyway, so if you've just tuned in and joined me, thank you very much for being here. And what you get, like I said, is something that you're not going to find on a website or in a book. This is based on my experience and extensive research. If you've been with me this whole time, thank you very much. Spanish sage, or sage, I know was one that was a request. But we have different types of sages, like we have different types of a lot of oils. And so I just chose Spanish sage. And that botanical name is in the description box below so that you can distinguish what kind you have. And what I have to say, truthfully, isn't going to land very well with most people, because I just try to shoot straight from the hip when it comes to the oils. I love the smell of sage. It does have a very calming effect to the body. It can. At the same time, it is also very high in mucolytics, ketones. Specifically 1,8-cyanol, which is a sedative type chemical, also known as eucalyptol, and it also is extraordinarily high in camphor. And these are they're neurotoxic. Long-term use of them on a consistent basis is neurotoxic, and the reason for that is because they have a direct impact on the nitric oxide synthase. Now, before I go any further, it's something I don't think I mentioned in the last couple of videos, possibly, is that I am introducing a master class. There's a free master class coming up on October 12th for essential oils and epigenetics, because I am actually launching a course on it, and I would like to be able to share with you, at the very least, some ideas on how these oils more specifically work with the epigenome, and really breaking it down for MTHFR, like I said, nitric oxide synthase, CBS, COMT, and so forth. So these are all, we talk about the methylation pathway, and we talk about how the oils work. And but that said, this particular oil is it has a direct influence on the nitric oxide synthase, which is the reason why it's exceptionally good with respiratory issues and cardiovascular issues. However, you don't want to use it for long-term purposes. You want to make sure that, and I keep saying that, and most people maybe don't, I mean, it's kind of like I talked about yesterday with Elang, this whole repetitive type of behavior. It's good to mix things up. It's really wise to mix things up. I don't like to use the word good. It's wise to mix things up because you're giving your body a chance to adjust accordingly. To consistently use sage because you like the smell of it could lead to potential problems. And as I said, it does have neurotoxic effects and is not recommended for anybody who is prone to seizures at all. And that would include anybody with autism. Now, the fact is, it's really good for digestion. as well as like I mentioned, respiration, as well as cardiovascular, and also mental health, especially on the level of anxiety, because like I said, it's very calming. It does have other constituents like linalool acetate in it, which helps with the calming effect, including that with this 1,8-cyanol. So it's not one that it's going to amp you. At the same time, it's potentially dangerous. However, the nitric oxide synthase is responsible for mental wellness. It's responsible for respiratory wellness. It's responsible for cardiovascular wellness, and it's equally responsible for digestive wellness. And in fact, nitric oxide synthase also has a direct influence on the immune system. And when it's been altered as a result of chronic stress, then it activates higher levels of immune reactions, and we tend to see higher levels of autoimmune type disorders or issues coming out because of that. So, but sage in and of itself is very beneficial for like short-term use for digestion. It does help to stimulate the digestive juices. It does help to soothe what's going on as far as autonomic nervous system. So it helps. It's another way it helps to regulate the digestive system, because it just brings more of a calming effect to the autonomic nervous system. Whereas ylang works in the endocannabinoid system, sage will work on the autonomic nervous system, and so it helps to regulate the cardiovascular health and blood pressure and so forth to a degree. It really helps to open us up because of that mucolytic effect with the 1,8-cyanol. It really is very beneficial for respiratory issues. But then again, like I said, if I were to make a suggestion just based off of the level of potential toxicity with this oil, I would not go any longer than 14 days at a time with it, and then change it out for something else. You can definitely, the thing is with the oils, I want to really remind us all, is that while we may like something, it's always wise to have an assortment on hand, and that way you just change them out. If you understand, or if you're working with the epigenome and you understand how yours is operating, so to speak, and then if you start to learn how these, and it's not about becoming too intense with it, but just understanding what occurs with what concern, with what potential issues around these genetic receptors, and then just mindfully switching out your oils. That's alchemy. Truthfully, that is alchemy. That's the best way to work with the body, is to change out your oils, have an assortment on hand, but don't use the same thing over and over again. And especially when it comes to things like sage, because of the camphor. It's a great oil. I love sage, and at the same time, I love burning sage. And in fact, what's interesting, if you burn sage, you will actually get some of the similar effects that you would get. It can make you very lightheaded. It can make you almost feel high, because of its impact on the mental state, and because it is also very, very relaxing as a result. So I think that's it. I think part of me is a little annoyed with the glaring here, but just as a reminder, I am writing about these. There's just a lot of content coming together, and that was part of that's actually how the whole, that's how the essential oils and epigenetics came to existence. Well, that and a couple of people actually asking for something along those lines, because I was doing holistically blending oils to work with systems, but I think focusing on the epigenetics was a really very helpful push, if you will. And so that is coming. So that information is in the box below. And you are encouraged to sign up for my newsletter. The October one just came out. And in that, I do share ideas on what oils to use with a particular herb in order to get the most profound effect that you're looking for, to kind of like wine pairing kind of a thing, right? So that's also in the newsletter. And if you sign up, I can make sure that you get the latest copy. All right. So let me know if you have any questions. Just know how much I appreciate you being here. Hope everyone's well in your world, and I will see you tomorrow. All right. Thanks.